Hello, it is I, your Sampai. Welcome back to Novel in a Year. We're on week 11. It is the day before con, and I have so many things to get together. I'm trying to break in these shoes, but I have to do a lot of sitting down to fix things. If this video seems a little hectic, it's because I am. So last week what we worked on was a timeline for our story, with the paragraphs you had written about your story. Just kind of either drawing or making a chart or whatever way that you like to make timelines, if that's a thing you like to do. This week we're working on character development. A little less boring than the last few weeks have been, in my opinion. So, your question for this week is, who is your character at the start of the story and what changes that? Write a paragraph or draw your character from the beginning of the story. There are so many kinds of changes that you can do for your character. It can be physical, emotional, mental, like their attitude. Try to give some examples here to lengthen this video up a bit. So physical changes would be like, perhaps at the beginning of your story, your character was quite tiny and scrawny, and they decided they wanted to be stronger for whatever reason. They start to work out. Maybe like at first they're not like the Hercules. Well, maybe they are. It's possible, depending on how quick your beginning goes. But there can be physical changes like that. There's several kind of physical changes. A popular trope that I found in anime is a girl goes through like a thing and her hair gets cut like super short, and then she's like an angry new woman with shorter hair. Like, there's so many things that you could do, and think about the transformation you want your character to have. I guess that's more kind of like in the theme of things, but you can definitely have the changes in your character be somewhat metaphorical too for what they will be going through or what they have gone through already. Emotional, something of course traumatic or really good could have happened at the beginning of your story that changes them from this state of happiness or sadness or whichever, and they have this emotional change. Usually I think that kind of thing is probably easier to do with sadness because, for example, a death, you have this happy-go-lucky person with like a really like super carefree person, or like this really grumpy, I don't care about anything or anything. And this character dies and their whole entire world kind of changes, and they realize maybe they did care about this person, or they don't know how to cope without this person yet. And that kind of emotional change. Mental change could be any number of things. You could go, again, the sad route if you want, and something happens that makes this character depressed or mentally unstable. You could have the character start out mentally unstable and quite mentally unhealthy, and have them become stronger mentally. But there's also mentally, in the sense, maybe they become more intelligent. There's mental as in perhaps they weren't as maybe they were kind of like a pushover before, and now are they defend themselves better. Or maybe it's the opposite, and they used to be very defensive about things, very offensive about things, and then they slowly change their mental state to be a calmer, more caring person. Attitude kind of falls in with the other ones, I guess. So they could start out as an angry person and transform into this loving and happy person. And there's so many things that you can do. There's so many different kinds of changes that you can do, and it is 100% okay if they don't have this transformation in the beginning of your story. Your character might not change in the beginning, but they should change at some point throughout the story. And the inciting incident specifically is what should kind of trigger that change. Or maybe in some cases the change is already kind of like occurring. And so you have this change happening at the beginning and them kind of adapting to the situation a bit. So what does your character look like at the beginning? How do they act? How do they treat everyone else around them? How do they treat strangers? How do they treat people that are close to them? What changes that? And how do they become different? Again, if this change doesn't occur in the beginning, it's completely fine. But at least have an idea of what kind of shape your character is going to be in later versus at the beginning. My hair is very fluffy. Whee! I feel like I ran up a set of stairs. Look at my shoes. What is this? This is a thread. Where did it come from? So as always, don't forget to take notes. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you'd like to share your novel journey with me, you can go ahead and tag me in any of my social media down below and hashtag Sleepy Senpai Novel in a Year. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!